Hello and welcome to Rose Play at the Movies. As always, we are your hosts, Orion Moonrose, and as always, Saul Wildfire. And today we are, well, technically it's the same day. We just got done watching Black Phone 1 and then went to go see Black Phone 2. But we're back once again to review Black Phone 2, which, before we start, there's actually two things now. I should wait for characters, but I really am just... So as I brought up the cast for the sequel, the one who played Robin in the first one is actually the brother of Robin, is the same one who played Robin, so they brought him back as his brother, and I think that is cool.
Yeah, that was sick. I didn't even realize it either.
Did not, so... That might be why I did like him a lot already.
Yeah.
But the second thing is, okay, this is a personal thing. I'm going to try to get out of the way now.
Yeah.
So, there is one major flaw in the movie for me. And it may not be for everybody, but it might take you out of the movie. It might make you enjoy it less. Maybe it was just our theater. Maybe our theater just had bad lighting on the screen because I felt like it was dull. But the lighting was really bad in the movie. There was maybe 4 or 5 day scenes?
Yeah, there were some day scenes.
There were a few day scenes, and those were good. But there's a lot of snow because part of the major plot of the story is a snowstorm, so there's a lot of snow through it. When it's daylight and the snow's there, my God, it is blinding. Anywhere else, there is no lighting in this entire freaking movie. It looks like someone took a candle and was running around with it, lighting the areas they were having the movie in.
Yeah.
And because of it, anytime I started getting invested with the story or the characters, I would start thinking about the lighting and how it would work so much better. So do be aware, unless the Blu-ray fixes it or it was just our theater, do be aware that the lighting is not the greatest in this one. As Saul said, there's really only, and I'll get her to talk about this in a second. There's really only 2 areas that the lighting really hurt for her too. What were those areas?
It was when that Monto... The camp, was he the camp leader?
He owns the camp, Armando.
Oh, his name was Armando.
Armando, yeah.
For some reason, I thought his name was Monto or something.
We might have heard it like
or
that.
They're calling him Mondo. Maybe they're calling him
Maybe,
Mondo.
as short, could
It
be.
was probably Mondo they were calling him, or maybe they were calling him Armando, but whatever.
Maybe.
Anyway, it was when he was in his little office thing. And he was looking around and stuff, looking for something and going in his cabinet and everything. That's why I was like, what in the world is going on in here? It was so dark at certain points in there.
Well, and there was a snowman outside.
Yeah.
And it the window started frosting over and it did make the grabber's mask, which you could see that one good. But yeah, the office scene definitely was bad. And what was the second one?
What was it? I have to. Oh yeah, when she and our Ernesto or whatever were in bed together.
Yep.
And we almost couldn't tell if it was a brother.
Yep. That would be Gwen and Ernesto. They were in bed cuddling, and because the brother had come to save her at one point. We'll get into that more,
Yeah.
and so we thought he was comforting her by laying with her. But then they start getting a little. I don't want to say kinky, but. It's what brother and sister shouldn't be doing, and it's like, wait, is that Ernesto? Or is that the brother?
See, I thought it was Ernesto the whole time because
I did too.
That her brother went in beforehand when she was having her dream, basically, and was comforting her already. But then she goes into a different room, and she said, "I had a bad dream." So why would she have to tell her brother that she had a bad dream after he literally witnessed her having a bad dream?
That was mostly just your husband.
That's why I was like,
But especially when he gets to the part about, oh, Jesus is sexy. It's like, yeah, that's not her brother, is it?
Yeah, something. I think it's hot or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And then it was just like, yeah, that's definitely not her brother. Yeah.
So for her, it was 2 scenes. I would say the major scene for me where the lighting is really bad is the end of the movie, basically, when the grabber takes off his mask, and it you can see, like, I think it was supposed to be when he's ripping it off that his face was attached to his mask, so it ripped off his skin and whatnot. But the decaying bottom half, I couldn't see it well enough, and I really wanted to see it. And he gets his mask ripped off, and I still didn't get to see it well enough. And it's like, I really want to see. But there were scenes where it was like, I would really enjoy it more, but this lighting is bad, I can't see, etc., etc. So that is the major problem I had with the movie. So these scores on my end is going to be kind of down further. So probably add like a point on to each for mine. But for me, it's just the lighting really did take me out of the story.
Yeah.
It made the character development sometimes weird. The only thing it really raised was the music and the sound effects, because you know, I was focusing on those more.
Right.
And the emotions were down just a little. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started with the storyline. So the storyline it takes place 3 years later. And one of the most important things is that, obviously, the sister's still having psychic visions. The movie starts off with their mother, who I figured it out right away. And I think they did say that her name was Hope in the first one.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't paying
But either way, I knew that it had to be the mother. And she's having a conversation with someone on the phone and saying that she's psychic too. And for me, that gave it away that it was the mother. A little bit on, you find out that the mother and the daughter are having a conversation like 30 years apart. And so there's that A plot again. Although the A plot, or the B plot, is now the A plot, because the main focus is more of the sister, which we'll get into that in a bit. But so the brother Finn is walking by a convenience store or something, or out of one, and the phone rings, and it's out of order. So right off the bat, this movie already explains a big problem with the first one. That the phone isn't necessarily special in the first one, although the grabber could still hear it. So again, more questions about the grabber that I hate.
Yeah, the whole phone ringing thing is just confusing in general.
But we learned that Finn also has powers, like and it explains a lot, where she can see the ghost and hear them, he can only hear them, other than, again, that one scene. Well, in the end of the movie, too, because he was bashing was it him that was bashing the grabber's face in? Because it was so dark, I couldn't freaking tell again. It was a guy that was bashing their face in, but I don't know whose. I think it was Finn, because he was bad-mouthing him.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was Finn.
But I don't know how he saw him. If it was because of the fact that he lost his powers, or being corporeal again. That part's confusing, too, but... yeah, like, it's one scene where Finn can see people.
Yeah.
So that part's still confusing. But for the most part, you learn that maybe the phone wasn't special, even though the grabber could hear it. So maybe that one was. But apparently everybody's calling Finn now.
Yeah, and they're like, it's not just that individual black phone, it's like literally like all the black phones.
All the black phones or pay phones.
Like, and it's just like, it just makes you wonder, like, can they call from white phones? Like,
right?
I don't even know. Like,
well, I mean, black phone does signify death, so that would make sense that it would only be black phone. But they've also got to be out of service, so they have to be dead.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they've all been like out of service and stuff.
Yeah, so I think that is what it's trying to hint at, is that since it's since black signifies death and whatnot, that he hears them from that.
Yeah.
Well, eventually they end up having to go to a camp where you come to find out that Wild Bill Hickok.
Hickok. Yeah.
Hickok is basically what the grabber was called at the camp, because they all had nicknames. But you still have no idea what his actual name is. I don't, unless his name was William, and so they decided to go with Hickok or Wild Bill, yeah. But anyway, you find out that he killed at least 3 kids that may have now been the first 3. So they kind of do delve a little bit into the backstory of the grabber, because it's a religious camp.
Yeah.
Because at one point, the sister starts talking scripture. And he's like, oh, God isn't. But it could also just be because he's a demon now or whatever. And
right, all the worst sides of him.
And we'll get to that a little bit when we get to the character. But so we learned a little bit more about his backstory, but we still don't know if those are his first kills. We still don't know what motivates him, etc., etc. The biggest question I had was, would this have been better being a prequel instead of a sequel? And I've got to personally say, I do like the sequel. It's nice to see the brother and sister again, although they feel a little bit more distant, but it could be because of all the stuff going on, because, trauma. But, yeah, I think the sequel was needed. I know they've already greenlit of Black Phone 3. It'll probably be another sequel, but I would not mind there being a fourth one or one in between that does a prequel before we get a sequel.
Right, yeah, I definitely want to see a prequel. I want a lot of things to be explained.
Yeah. Because we learned quite a bit in this one, and I feel like we'll save it for characters when we get to it. So I think that's all I really got on the story. I think the story was... Okay, so when the story starts, and I think this is true with any movie I watch that's a sequel, I start getting worried that it's not going to be as good, or it feels slower than the first sometimes when it shouldn't. But I think for the most part, I think the story was better than the first one. And that could be because we do know the characters now, and they did have a lot of the cast return.
Yeah.
But I really liked what they did with the story, and what we've learned that were questions in the first one. If you were to go back and watch the first one now, I think the first one would be a lot better because you'd at least have more of an understanding, even if that isn't where they were originally going with it, because we got answers. Exactly. So I think the second one makes the first one even better.
Oh, yeah, I would agree.
So what about you? Did you like the storyline? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? And then we'll get into the rating.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the storyline. It kept you entertained the whole entire way. I feel like it flowed at a very normal pace. I feel.
Well, and it was more action orientated too. There was more it was more like an old horror movie.
Yeah. It wasn't too slow, but it wasn't too fast.
Yep. Even though nobody dies, unless you count the mother. Because they do go into her backstory of her getting hanged. We'll get into it a little bit later. Yeah. And it does show the kids that he killed quickly. But there is absolutely no deaths at all. This is a deathless run.
Yeah, it's all the ones that he killed were prequel based. They were all beforehand.
Yeah. So I definitely feel like this one felt more psychological too.
Yeah, for sure, more psychological and paranormal and whatnot.
Oh, definitely paranormal. Since he's a demon now from still don't know if he's a demon from hell, but he's from hell now.
Yeah, he definitely holds some sort of power because of what he's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel like the storyline, I feel like it kept you entertained the entire time, and as we're learning more and more about, what all happened there and what happened with the mother and what happened in general, with the whole thing. I feel like the storyline was pretty great. So.
Yeah, it was. And like I said, it answered a lot of questions. It flowed better and easier for the most part. And again, I think any movie that has sequels to it, if they bring back some of the cast, or in this case, pretty much all the cast, you're more invested in the characters than if you hadn't seen the first movie and saw the second one, it might not be as good. I think it'd still be a good movie, just it might lack a little for not knowing the first one. So, because of the fact that I know I'm going to rate everything lower because of the lighting, we're going to go with you first on what your rating was on the storyline as to why and whatnot.
I rated the storyline a 9 out of 10. And really, the only reason I really took off that one point was kind of due to the lighting. And kind of due to, certain things being a little bit off in general. But, literally, the lighting did take a lot away from certain moments and stuff.
Right.
And things where you're like, what is going on in here? What is he doing? It's you're like trying to struggle to understand the full extent of what's happening in certain moments. So I feel like the lighting definitely did rob some of the story, but I mean the story itself was really great, so I feel like I couldn't like take too much off. So that's why I felt like it had to be a 9 out of 10.
Now, don't get me wrong. I do think the story was really good. I did give it a 6, which even if you take a point off for the lighting, it's like, why did you rate it so low? And what I will say is, first of all, yes, the storyline is way better than the first. I really enjoyed the story. I really want to see a third one. I really want to see a prequel. So there is technically nothing wrong with the storyline per se. 1 point is definitely for the lighting. 2 is still for a few confusing parts. 3 is the fact that you go into a horror movie, it looks more like it's going to be more Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger murders, and there's no murders in it. Yeah. Now, granted, the kids getting murdered were more graphic than in the first one. But I don't know why there's a 4th point off of it. I'm sure it's somewhere. But for the most part, yeah, the fact that there was no death, I was just like, you can't really call this a horror then. This is completely a thriller.
Yeah, he definitely tried.
He tried. But remember, according to the story, he can... Oh, yeah, that's another part we'll get into in a second, too. If somebody starts messing with his power, which his power was fear, and the 3 kids who he had killed were never found.
Right.
So if his power is threatened, he's allowed to take action. And he tries to drown Armando, which fails because of the sister. He tries to kill the Karen and the husband, which at least there's a funny scene of him being dragged around on ice skates. But of course, when nobody else sees him, you just see this body just flying along on the ice really weirdly. So, yeah, and then he tried to kill Finn. He tried to kill the sister, which, all right, another part of the story. So why is he back from hell? He wants revenge. One reason for killing him, which tracks. Another, he's still on the darn freaking, you killed my made me kill my brother.
Yeah, that was funny.
He won't drop it. We're 2 movies in, and it's still, you made me kill my brother, the only thing I loved. Well, why'd you kill him then? Bash him in the back of the head, bring him upstairs and say it was a dream. You smoked too much crack, you pothead.
Right. I think he still would have remembered that it was that house. I don't think he would have been able to get it out of his brain that he saw that he saw stuff down there. Like, I think he still would have, because he saw him down there, didn't he?
We don't know if he saw his dead brother, but the sister did see the brother, which was a surprise return.
But we did hear people when he was down the stairs. He saw his brother.
Yeah.
So didn't the brother technically see the kid then down there in the basement? So he would have probably remembered at least that.
Yeah. So, okay, so he does say a few things, though. One is that, it took me forever to remember. So apparently when you die in general, you lose a lot of your memory over time.
Yeah.
But he also stated that hell takes all the good parts of you, the humanity, and leaves you with sins. So it makes sense that he would remember killing his brother, because for him that would be a sin. But the fact that he's doing that, he wants to kill the sister and hurt Finn where it counts.
Because he blames him for him killing his brother.
And I think he does try to kill the father, but the sister tackles him or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the revenge plot makes sense. You killed me, you dick, I want revenge. No, I think that's the lesser reason. I think it's because you killed my brother, you dumb prick.
I want to make you hurt because you made me kill my brother.
Yep. It's like, oh good, we're in that, what was the plot? What was the movie that did that? I don't remember now, but there was a movie where it was literally some stupid reason for, I think it was Nobody 1 or 2.
It was. Yeah.
It was Nobody 1. The cat bracelet. Yeah. It's the cat bracelet all over again. But
you made me do it.
Yep. But I will admit, even if you were the cause of killing your brother and it wasn't really Finn, I could at least see somebody taking offense to somebody forcing you to, do something you didn't want to do.
Yeah, except, like, how would his brother have been down there, though?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He just went down there.
Agreed. But what I'm getting at, though, is, like, he ended up having to kill his brother regardless because his brother found out, and he probably would have had to kill him regardless. But at least it is a better reason than a cat bracelet. That was, by the way, again, under a frickin' table.
Yeah, I guess, but it's still like, how in the world do you think that he made you kill his your brother?
Yeah.
Like, how in the world did he make you kill your brother?
I don't know.
Like, what the heck?
So I think, and the fact that everybody he tried to kill didn't work, maybe maybe the reason why he can't kill and he could only damage, like, the Karen was because she wasn't doing much to help. Or maybe it's the power of Christ. I don't know. Right. But the power of Christ compels Karens to live. But regardless, it lost some points for a few reasons.
I mean, maybe that's the reason he kills kids is because he can't overpower anybody else.
I mean, that could be. That would actually be an interesting thing, right? Yeah. The reason why he kills the kids is because he can't kill... Oh, well, I was going to wait till characters, but now that you bring up... The only one he was able to kill was their mother. You find out that she had a psychic vision about the newspaper boy that you weren't emotionally attached to.
Right, yeah. I mean, he was able to, but he still, like, put chloroform or whatever the heck.
Yeah, whatever he does to put him into the back. And my question is, how did he know where they lived? I'm sure. He just, like, drove up to where they lived. I'm sure maybe he knew who she was.
Yeah, but he even got in their garage. Like, did he just leave their garage open then?
See, I think what happened, because she was in her PJs, so obviously she didn't bring her wallet, but obviously you have to bring your wallet to drive. I feel like she had to have brought her wallet. He went into the car. They didn't show that part, obviously, because he didn't want her, because he said he recreated this from his will or something, because he wanted to give her, the daughter, the truth before he kills her. Yeah. Maybe he took the wallet out of the vehicle.
Yeah, maybe.
Found out where they lived. Maybe she had a key. But my next question is, what did you do with the car? You took your van. Or at least that's how he remembers it. Maybe he remembered it wrong. But I thought about that just now. You
left her car.
Left her car at your place. What did you do with it? What did the father think happened? Oh, why did you do this? What? Wait, where's her car?
I almost feel like he had to have actually took her in her car, though.
I feel like you might be right. Although he couldn't have been wearing the mask. So he had to have been wearing normal clothes. So, yeah, no. But then again, the first one, when he was running after the kid, he had the mask on even after chasing him. So I don't know. So weird. That might be another reason why the storyline went down a point, because
some of it didn't make sense, but it was also a recreation of
because he said it was willpower of the memories that I can muster. So he could be remembering it wrong because of the fact that he was dead.
Yeah.
But there were reasons that dropped it down to a 6, obviously. But I mean, if you get back the point for the lighting, then it's a 7, and 7 still isn't bad. But don't get me wrong, I still think it was a better story than the first one for whatever reason, whether it was just a better flowing movie or whatnot, or because you watched the first one.
Yeah.
I think it was better. And that was another thing too. They brought back a lot of callbacks. When Finn's beating up the kid at the beginning, he mentions the blood thing, which is what Robin had said.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff with that. All right, so a 6 and a 9. Let's go ahead and move into characters, which most of them are returning, so I'm not gonna mention their names unless they're a new character. So you had Finny again and Gwen, which they still play good characters. I really do like the sister. Like, where we liked Finny more in the first one, I really like the sister more in the second one.
Right, yeah, and I mean, I feel like his character kind of, with the trauma, he kind of got, lost his innocent, touch, you know what I mean? Like, he kind of went, now he smokes and, he's...
And that was one thing Gwen mentioned, too. You just hide all your feelings now. You're just like Dad, except instead of the bottle, it's... Yeah, so I do think that was purposely done, but I really liked her. I think she was good. She got to talk to her mother. She got to help the kids. Her mother told her that it was she didn't say a blessing, but I thought a blessing. You would even thought it. Yeah. Because she's like, why do I have this curse? So, I mean, there's a lot they could do with a sequel. Mm-hmm. Really, what I would like to see for the brother and sister is have them be grown up now. Mm. Next time, maybe have their own child or something. And maybe whatever... Maybe because Ethan Hawke's character of the grabber, he wants to see him come from hell or go to hell or something. Maybe Finn or the daughter has a infant, and if the grabber can sacrifice, he can be reborn. I don't know, but something. But I want to see a prequel more than anything first.
Right, yeah.
But I still really loved it. I feel like the chemistry was off between the two of them. But again, I think it's not the actors. I think it's how the characters were written this time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was kind of the trauma that pushed them a little bit away because like he's not trying to, like, he believes it's real and it's all he can think about, but he wants it. He kind of just wants to push it away, wants it to just go away and not even be a thing anymore.
Yeah, because he says that's all he ever thinks about.
Yeah, like he literally just wants it to just be done with. That's why he doesn't. He's like. He answers the phones and is like, I can't help you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah, all the phones that he answers are, I can't help you, until they get to the camp. Mm-hmm. And then when he's like, I can't help you, walks away, the phone just going to go, bring, bring. It's the grabber, but it goes,
it's going crazy.
Yeah, it's aggravated.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, I really like them still again. I think they did good at playing the pushed apart from one another and the trauma and whatnot. So again, I think they did really good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about them?
I mean, the sister definitely has gotten like a huge sailor mouth now.
Oh, heck yeah. She was always a potty mouth, but boy, she really upped it in this one.
Yeah, she went further since she's got a little bit older now. But yeah, no, I was like, wow, that's crazy. But
right.
It was enjoyable to watch, but I was just like, dang. But yeah, no, for sure, I like them both still.
Yep, agreed. So, Miguel Mora, which I will say that name again, because technically it was supposed to be a new character, but it's just the same guy playing, instead of Robin, Ernesto. Honestly, the fact that I didn't know it was him.
Yeah, even that just gave him props.
Yeah, that gets props alone. I think I liked the character. I think he's cute in the sense of how he acts with the sister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have.
I think they have good chemistry, and I like that they brought back him and was able to give him a role as a brother. I liked him. I just liked him. That's all there is to it.
Right, exactly. Like how he was like standing by her no matter what and stuff, and was like and believed what she was saying and all that, and liked that she was different from the others. Like he was just like a sweetheart.
Oh, he was like definitely a big change from his previous character too, which shows the character or the actor has acting chops. So props to that too.
Oh yeah, they played like almost a completely different character. Mm-hmm. Like it was just like you wouldn't have even known, you know?
Yeah, you wouldn't have. And I didn't. Not until I brought up the cast. I'm like, wait a minute. Did they screw this up? I'm like, I had to type it in. And it's like, no, yeah, he played the same character. Or it's the same actor. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he can really play different characters.
Yeah. All right, so a new character, because I'm going to save two characters for last, besides the grabber, is Ariana Rivas, which played Mustang. There's not too much to say about her. She's sassy as well, and kind of might be a love interest to Finn, or they want them to be. I liked her, but beyond that, there's not much to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, she didn't have too much crazy development, besides the fact that she was also like, evil kid just saved him,
Oh, yeah, there was that scene where
standing up for him and everything like that. Like, she was, like, all on their side, like, the whole time.
Yeah, and then you had Maeve Beatty, who played Barbara, and I'm guessing Graham Abbey. Kenneth was the husband. He kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
I mean, they were supposed to be like the snooty, well, I guess he wasn't as much, but she definitely was the snooty, stuck-up Christian who's against demon children and not wanting to help, but it's the Christian thing to do. Yeah. I mean, she played a good Karen. I mean, she gives off that vibe of it, but hopefully she's not in real life.
Right, yeah, no, like, she played the character, like, the role that she was meant to play really well. So.
Exactly. And then there's not much to say about them because they were supporting cast. An important one is Anne Lore, who played Hope, the mother to the siblings. And, I mean, she didn't get a whole lot of time. She got a good beginning thing where you were confused. You got to see that it was the grabber that actually murdered her and she didn't commit suicide, which was really nice that they did that. It also tied together why they might be closer to the grabber than supposed to be, but it's nice to see that she didn't commit suicide because of her powers and that could be where the daughter leads someday.
Yeah, right, but it also makes it seem like all their psychic visions are just pointed towards the grabber, though.
It does. I think what it really is and it kind of comes back to the first one where she was supposed to save. You had the A plot and the B plot. I think what their powers are to do is to put souls at rest. Maybe children more than anything, but I feel like that's what she was there to do, was free the kids, and because the daughter was even like, I'm not leaving. These kids need whatever.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder, like, if that would be, like, in everything, like, an everybody thing, though. Like, if it would be, like, after the grabber's completely done with, there's going to be, like, somebody else that, you know, is killing people, and they're able to, like...
Kind of like The Conjuring.
Lead them to it and whatnot, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they could technically spin off the series. It's like I told you, they do have a grabberverse going on. The new VHS movie has somebody who's in it that's part of the grabberverse. Apparently, they're trying to go more supernatural, so they could technically do spin-offs. But I and then she had the end scene where she basically told her, "Hey, baby girl, I love you. You know, you're important. I thought that was sweet. So for what little she did, she was good too."
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the last two characters we'll talk about, which were outside of Ethan Hawke,
right,
and maybe the sister now, because I really did like her. I would say the two breakout characters for this one was Demon Beecher. I don't know. I'm butchering the name. I'm sorry, dude. Bicker. I'll go with that. Who played Armando. And the father, Terrence. I really love those two characters. Like, I liked Armando a lot. Like, the guy just feels like a sweetheart.
Yeah.
It feels like that vibe guy that we talk about sometimes. And I really didn't want his character to die. And once, of course, nobody did, but...
Yeah, like, and the fact that he literally brought the camp, like, he literally bought the camp or whatever because he was still going to try to find the boys and stuff.
Because he went to camp when he was younger, and he promised that he'd find closure, and they did, and that's sweet. And so I really liked the guy. Like, I don't know, to me, he was the breakout character outside of the grabber. I'd like to see him in a third one, or a prequel. Although they wouldn't be able to do a prequel, it would be another actor playing a younger him because if they had to bring him to camp. But I like the father too, because the father got redemption.
Yeah.
He quit drinking.
Well, as far as we know, because they did bring up that she smelled alcohol on him still or whatever.
Yeah, he did. But so let's at least say then that he improved and he was trying to.
Yeah, as much anyway.
And not just that, but then he learns about the wife getting murdered by the grabber. He wants to get the kids out of there when he finds out about the grabber, though I don't know if he fully believes it. But he ends up going down into the water and freeing the body. Like, I don't know. Like, those two to me, I really liked the characters.
Yeah, he definitely ended up changing a lot about himself and how he was towards them and stuff.
So I definitely do like those two characters. I think outside of the grabber, he was the breakout star. They were the breakout stars. And it's nice to see the father get a redemption, because sometimes it isn't people's fault when they get into drugs or alcohol, which I think was what the movie was trying to state, the trauma.
Yeah, and when you do get into it, it's hard to get out. But,
so I do like that they were sitting there like, he's... Because the first one, you weren't really sure if he was a good father or not. This one makes it feel like he was, but because of the wife's death and probably her psychic powers and people hounding her and whatnot...
Yeah, no, he became a better father.
Yeah, for sure.
A better one. So
then again, we'll talk about Ethan Hawke being the grabber. And I mean, again, we don't really get much of an origin story. We do know now that he went to camp, and these might be the first... Yeah, Wild Bill Hickok.
Yeah.
And that he might be the these might be the first killings. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, he probably did kill some before.
Yeah, but this is where we're at right now. Besides his, I do feel like that the blaming Finn for the brother being murdered by him, though, as much as we're complaining about, I do think it is part of the trait for it of the grabber. So I'm not too harsh with it, like the cat bracelet.
Right.
The grabber, for the most part, does feel more set up, though. It doesn't feel like he has DID or anything. Maybe because he got everything humanity taken away, but the bad parts, as he said. Yeah. But then why did he's like, I'm giving you a truth, but it's my one kindness before I kill you. Which, at the same time, yeah, it's a kindness, but it's also like, I'm screwing with your head.
Yeah, like, I want you to know that I did this.
Yeah.
Thing,
So I don't really know how to feel, but the grabber does feel more assertive and dominant in just his one personality. It doesn't so much feel like he's got the multitude.
Yeah.
But Ethan still plays an amazing grabber. Mm-hmm. And it does look like in this one, he's having a lot more fun. And maybe that's because he isn't stuck in a room 70% of the... He can ice skate... He can twirl people around. He can drown some. So I still think Ethan was a really good grabber, and I do really like his character. I like it enough to where I want to see a prequel. I want to see maybe 1 or 2 more sequels. I don't want them to overdo it.
Yeah.
But you were trying to look up Funko Pop. So, I mean, the grabber has grabbed our attention.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely.
But, I mean, there's still some things that are a little bit confusing and still stuff that doesn't get explained. But, I mean, for the most part, the characters are all really amazing what they give off.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like this one, he didn't seem like he did have it. Any sort of, like, he didn't feel like the ups and downs like he did on the other one. He felt... like he was very much in the same, like, I'm going to get revenge, I'm going to get, I'm going to make you hurt and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he was just absorbed in the...
Yeah, well, and again, it could be because maybe that darkest side of him was all that was left, too, because...
Yeah, it took away any
humanity.
Others, yeah.
And, that would at least be a good way to explain, why isn't he as kooky as he is in the first movie? Well, because hell took everything good about him.
Yeah, now it's literally just the evil and the...
So if they stick with that, it'd be a pretty cool way to be like, yeah, this is the grabber you get, and now he's more assertive, dominant in his ways.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so, what did you rate the characters?
I rated the characters a 10 out of 10.
Understandable, I completely agree with that. Any other reasons as to why or whatnot? Since there seems like no flaws in that one?
No, I just liked, like, every single one of the characters and all of the development and the progress that was made that impacted their characters. Like, I just felt like they were all on par.
I got nothing else to say about that either. I completely agree with you. I didn't give it a 10 out of 10. I felt like when I was trying to enjoy the characters, the lighting got involved.
Oh, God.
Yep, I know. But I'm not going to say much more than that. That's the only thing that gave it a 9 out of 10. But if you take away the lighting, I agree with you 100%. 10 out of 10.
The lighting took away the characters.
Yep, took away the characters.
Couldn't tell if they were brother and sister and they're snuggling or anything.
Well, that's a point right there, unless you're into incest.
Right.
But yeah, no. For the most part, I agree. I liked every character. I liked the building of the characters that we already previously had. Well, besides, again, the grabber, it really wasn't growth. It was, he became one entity thing. But yeah, no, I enjoyed everything, even the kids that got killed. I love when they're, attacking them at the end. So if you take away the lighting problem, it's a 10 out of 10 as well. But yeah. I know. It just really did bother me. I'm sorry.
Is that Gwen in there? I think that's Armando.
Right. Oh my God, Armando's snuggling Gwen. Is she 18? I don't think she's 18. No, she wasn't. She was in high school. But all jokes aside, though, I mean, it's just don't get me wrong. I think it is a good movie. Maybe the Blu-ray will fix the lighting and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the lighting really did just take me out of any moment. Like, I'm sitting there, like, the character development, and it's like, I don't know what's fully going on. Who is who? And we talked about it a little bit when I was talking about Finn Attack, if it was Finn attacking the grabber. Or, like, when you have to question who the heck the characters are because you can't see them.
Is that Gwen in there?
Yeah, because that was one of the things I love. There was a part in the movie with the grabber's mask where, first there's one where he has it off on the top when he's recreating the memory, and you can see that one because for some reason the back of his car is lit up like Christmas lights.
Right.
But then at the end of the movie, he takes off the mask all ripped and whatnot. I couldn't really see it. I really wanted to see the details. And then his whole mask gets ripped off. And I'm like, is that another mask underneath? Because I see nothing.
Right.
So, I mean, the characters had to go down just because of the lighting.
Oh, my God.
But anyway, we will now move into music and sound effects.
Yeah.
So, with music and sound effects, I'm going to say right now that, and I'm just going to tell you the rating early on mine, because again, you know, this is the one spot where lighting didn't affect it.
Right.
Because I feel like because of the fact that I couldn't see everything else well, I had to rely on the heart wrench or the nerving or the music or I was listening to that a lot more. So for me, it got a 9 out of 10. I don't think it was quite at a 10. I definitely think it was better improvement than the first movie. And we'll have you talk about yours and I'll add stuff in because, like I said, music's more. But for me, because of the fact that one of my senses were basically completely gone, I had to focus on hearing.
Right.
And so for me, the music and the sound effects played a much bigger part this time around. We won't give your rating till after we're both done, if I throw anything else in, but because of the music and, the lighting, it's like, dying. So, all right, so what about it this time? With the problems that you had in the first one, were any of them fixed for music and sound effects? Why? All that good stuff.
Oh yeah, it definitely went way up for the music and sound effects for me. Like, I felt a lot of the moments a lot more than I did in the other one.
Agreed.
Because they're just like, the unnervingness I did actually feel.
I was going to say that too. That was one of the things that I think was way different, is that you did feel your nerves sometimes with some of the sound effects or the music that they had chosen along with the scene. And even though nobody died, which was a real surprise, I wasn't sure who was going to live and who was going to die. Besides the grabber, maybe. Even though I don't know if you'd really call it dying, but...
Right. There were so many creaking noises, and, they had, like, the flames and stuff from that and whatnot, and the burning sounds and stuff. A lot of axe chopping sounds and stuff, like, especially when that kid got his head chopped in half. And
that one was a freaky scene. I liked that one.
There were a lot of axe sounds in this one.
There was.
And a lot of unnerving sounds in this one that I felt like really, really made up for.
Well, like when he got stabbed and got, around the rink, that was a good sound effect too. Something I will add, though, now that you mention it, I think they did the dream sequences or the visions a lot better. Granted, first of all, you could always tell the difference between when she was dreaming and when she was awake or whatnot, because there was this static, kind of like Silent Hill or something. There was always this... I can't quite...
Yeah, almost like a video.
Yeah. And then it also looked more fuzzy and blurry and whatnot. So I think this time around with the music, sound effects, whatever they decided to do to the dream sequences, because it was still pretty darn mute.
Yeah.
There were obviously voices this time, because obviously the grabber would talk to her via... But I think that how they decided to do the visions and the dreams this time worked 10 times better than it did in the first one, which solved a lot of my issues.
Yeah, definitely. And there was a lot more that went into the visions, I feel like, than the other ones. I feel like the other one, like, it replayed a lot of the, like, dreams and vision sequences in the first one. And this one, there was, like, a lot to them too, and her actually, like, being involved in them.
Yeah, she was involved a lot more, because I think her powers are evolving.
Yeah, well, and it's a little bit different now that he's, dead.
Yeah, because they have to change up how it all worked.
Yeah.
Because they had the whole Freddy Krueger, where a lot of people were like, oh, it's like Freddy Krueger, and it is up to an extent.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like another world, like Limbo. But apparently she can enter it via a dream state, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I liked the dream sequences more. I think the sounds were done a lot more better. I think it was a lot more, like the Snowstorm 2 played a big part, when it was snowing, when you heard the ice freeze over.
Yeah.
Like, I think freezing is a nice sound effect.
Yeah, and there were a lot of ice sounds involved too, like the scratching, the kids scratching the ice and everything.
Him on the ice skates at the end.
Yeah, there were a lot of ice sounds, there were some flame sounds and burning sounds, lots of axe sounds, and just like the creaking with them like under the bed or whatever.
Yeah.
There's just like a lot of good sounds leading up to a good jump, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of good sounds in this one. I thought it all went well.
I agree. And this is the one section where it didn't take off any points for me. For the lighting, obviously. But I still gave it a 9 then. So the only thing I can think of is that I still feel like the dream sequences need to be tweaked a little. If they were tweaked just a little bit more, I think, for the next movie, if they go that route again, I think if they tweak it, it would probably be a 10 out of 10 next movie for me.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, I suppose.
So now that we got out of the way, unless you got anything else to add about the music and sound effects or anything that you liked in the movie that...
I mean, there was another brick in the wall. That was playing in like a different kind of version of it.
It was a version of it, yeah.
I couldn't even tell if it was Pink Floyd or not, but anyway, it was like very like broken up into like segments of the song.
It was.
Like I thought that was pretty neat. Like
it was
the music thing out of there, and so I mean, I thought the music and sound effects were just perfect in this one.
I get that too. So what did you end up rating it?
It was a 10 out of 10.
It was a 10 this time. So they fixed all their issues from the first one then.
Yeah, this one it felt like it fit very amazing in the story.
I don't disagree. Like I almost thought about giving it a 10 out of 10, but I just felt like the dream sequences needed a little bit more tweaking, just a little. Like it is so close to being a perfect dream sequence. So I could see a 10 out of 10, and I wouldn't disagree with you at all. Just like you said, you could see what I meant with mine being at a 9.
Yeah.
All right, so that brings us to the last section, which is emotions. And so, how do I want to start with this? So again, obviously lighting did hurt it. We'll get to that at the end for me for the rating. But I would say, for me, the emotions were still on par because you still had to listen to it. And even if you couldn't see the movie, you could still hear the emotions, you could feel it. I think the movie, because I did give it a 10 out of 10 in the first one. So it's like, if it were to follow that, and I'll tell the rating at the end, obviously, after your turn. If it were to do better than this one, I would say it would be an 11 out of 10 if that was possible.
Right.
But it obviously wasn't, and maybe it wasn't, but we'll see on that. But I think I liked how how the characters interacted with one another. I liked them all. I didn't want almost any of them to die, other than the Karen.
Yeah.
And obviously the grabber, if they found a way to kill him again, or whatever the freezing was, I guess.
Right.
But beyond that, I don't think there was anything negative about the movie. I think if this is the same director or writer that did the movie, or photography, whatever that, tells them what to do, plus the actors, I think everybody in this movie is just as great as in the first one.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
So what about you with, we won't give the rating just yet, but what about you for the emotions? How was the emotions this time around? Because you gave it a, 8 out of 10 last time?
Yes.
All right, so was it, without giving the rating yet, what did you think about the emotions? What did you like, didn't like, if anything?
I really, really enjoyed, all the emotions in this one. I felt like it was, you could actually feel for the characters. Like, I really didn't want Armando to die.
Oh, heck yeah. Armando, like I said, was one of my favorites. He was one of the breakouts.
There was him that you really, like, you started to get a feel for his character. And then, I mean, the other ones I could, like Barbara and Herman and, who was it? I mean, I would have
Mustang?
Mustang, I would have been, like, kind of like, oh, damn, you know.
Well, yeah, because I want her to get together with Finn, and so does the father.
Yeah, but, like, the only ones I really wouldn't have, like, mattered would have been, like, Barbara and him.
Yeah.
But, like, everyone else, like, I really ended up enjoying, like, the emotion and the characters themselves, you know.
Right.
And the fear of them possibly, you know, dying.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and not just that, but, you know, there's some characters in the movie that they make that way, that you want to die. And I feel like that's what they did with Barbara. Maybe not the husband so much, but Barbara, and then they just didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, besides them getting into
beat
that
up
little ice skating thingy jig. But yeah, no, besides that, it was like, the emotions were just kind of everywhere with everything, and especially when they were about to leave, and she called the father out on his drinking,
and
what are you gonna beat me into the car?
Oh,
and stuff.
yeah.
And, like, that got, like, really intense and everything, and then, like, them cowarding out of everything and stuff like that. It just kind of, emotions got really high in that that one, like, itself. Like, you could tell, like, it felt like a real emotions. And I like that, like, I always feel like it should be higher when the emotions feel real.
Yeah.
And so, like, because when their emotions feel real, you start to connect to...
Well, and the fact that we also know the characters, too, gives a bigger connection, too, since we had seen the first Black Phone just recently again.
Yeah, exactly. You also, like, have that connection, too.
Well, and, you know, even if you don't have a strong connection to the grabber, because obviously, you know, that means you like killing children, maybe. Joke.
Yeah.
But, you know, you know he was out for revenge one way or another. Whatever the reason was, whether good or bad, you could at least feel the intensity of his hatred for what happened to him and the revenge that he wanted to take.
Yeah, for real. Like, you felt the anger and him wanting to hurt them. And you felt the fear that came with her dreams. You felt the connection between her and the Ernesto. You felt how, like, he wanted to be there for her and stuff. Like, I just felt like all the emotions made sense. They felt real, and I just felt like it just all fit into, like, the mold that it was supposed to.
Yeah. Well, and then, too, like, last time, you didn't know if the daughter or the sister was going to die or not, for sure. I didn't think she would, but at the same time, I'm like, they could try to change it around.
Right, and it still kept you on edge. Like, holy crap, she's about to go in the fire, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it still kept you on the edge of your seat kind of thing, where it's like, oh my gosh, she's being pulled in the fire, you know? Like, it all felt... like, very real emotion-wise.
And like I said, I think that's another reason why with Story I took it down a notch, because of the fact that, again, nobody died. Which, I mean, not necessarily is a bad thing. People don't all have to die in a movie.
Right.
But when you go in and it looks more horror, it looks like the old slashers, and then nobody dies.
Yeah, but there have been ones that
that's
like
true.
barely have died, though.
But yeah, no, I completely agree with you 100%. So what was your rating then for emotions?
Yeah, my rating was 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Too, yeah.
So, yeah, basically they fixed any improvements, and the fact that we knew the characters more probably helped it. I don't disagree with that one bit. Honestly, if not for the lighting, I would not be giving it a 9 out of 10. So I agree 100% that it's probably a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our rating, which, ironically, we kind of switched roles. But mine was mostly due to the lighting because, like I said, even with the emotions, I could get into the emotions, but trying to get into the emotions and then thinking it's too dark, I can't see.
Right? I felt like it didn't really take away from the emotions, because I felt like the emotion they were trying to express was fear, and I'm afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't feel like it. Like, if anything, it intensified the emotion of.
I mean, that I do agree with. If they were going that route, then they did really good.
Yeah.
If they were going that route, then it's really good because the darkness really did play a role in the movie. It was its own character.
Scrambling around trying to find something in the dark. You know, I don't know what's going on, but I mean, it didn't really change the emotion that there's still fear there.
See, mine was kind of my ADHD. I'd be sitting there trying to stay focused on a certain element, the feelings, whatever, and my mind would just race to, I can't see. And it would just take me out of the movie.
Yeah.
But without that, I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I think it's a good sequel. I think it's better than the original. The only thing people will say is that, did we really need a sequel for it? No, but did we like it? Yeah, is what the consensus is. I think we did need I do think we needed a sequel in number, but I think it needed to be a prequel. But this sequel did prove that they could do something different with the grabber being dead and going more supernatural, which if you watch the first movie like we did, or rewatch it, you come to realize, yeah, I could see why he would be able to come back.
Right, exactly. I feel like the only thing that'd be missing at this point would be a prequel. Something to show how he got to where he is, who he actually is, and why he does what he does. Like, I would like to see that. I know some people prefer it being like, you know, unknown and mysterious.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I could see that they could do it with the grabber, only giving little hints and letting you piece it together, but I feel like the grabber would be an interesting backstory, like for character study, if anything, for like a psychology class.
Right, exactly, because it's like, I mean, it could be like Michael Myers, where they just like, they like him being pure evil kind of thing. Or it could be where people want him to be explained. I mean, I feel like there's like both people that do like him, like would like him to remain, you know, mysterious and, you know, like unknown of what's like all like going through his head and how he was, how he became and whatnot. But I'm the type that would I would prefer it like revealed, like where he came from. Is he pure evil? Is he, you know, stuff that made him this way?
So yeah, there's some movies where I would agree, I want to know the character's backstory, and then there's some movies where I would rather keep it mysterious. But the grabber for me is definitely one I want to know more about.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, we completely switched roles. Where my rating for Black Phone 1 was in the 90s and yours was, I think, in the 80s. We switched roles. You're in the 90s and I'm in the 80s. But you know what? Because of the fact that most of my issue was lighting, I'm going to say that the consensus is probably...
Mine's 97.
97. I'm going to say the consensus is probably it's 95.
What was yours?
82.5. It's going to be probably like 89 or something, I think.
It's 90.
Oh, it's 90, so it does. I would probably still go a few bit higher, because if you were to add the points back on for the lighting, I would probably have about a 90. I'm going to say a consensus probably 94%, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose.
So I definitely think it is a much better sequel, but at the same time, after watching Black Phone 2, if I were to go back now and rewatch Black Phone 1 again, I would probably give Black Phone 1 a 5% boost. Because it does, even if it was not the intention to explain it originally in the first one, the fact of what they did give us in the first one makes the first one now much better, because we don't have to sit there and worry about those questions, because they do get answered.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I like the franchise. I know Ethan Hawke wants to do one more at the very least. Like I said, I hope it's like a prequel. Maybe one more is fine. Maybe two. I don't want them to overdo it. Just like Damien Leone said with Terrifier, he doesn't want to push him out like Michael Myers. Terrifier 4 is probably going to be like... I feel like that's what I want with Black Phone, is maybe in a number 4. Have a prequel, one more sequel to be a trilogy for that one, and have the prequel be a standalone.
Right.
So, yeah, no, much better movie. I definitely say go out to the theaters, watch this one, because it is, excuse the language, damn fantastic. And is there anything else you'd like to add about the movie? Sequels, prequels, anything at all before we...
No, I think we covered it all.
All right, awesome. So we will go ahead and leave it here. And I don't know what the next movie is. We're supposed to do a Conjuring party type thing for Halloween-ish, which may either run before or after Halloween, because our times are all messed up here. We might not. So I think the next movie officially in theaters is The Running Man. I could be wrong. I don't know if we'll actually watch the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Maybe, maybe not. We'll figure that out. But those are at least the ideas for next time. But there is at least 2 or 3 movies in November. So until next time, remember, keep watching movies. Keep enjoying the stories. And remember, if a phone's ringing and it's unhooked, you do have the option to say, "Good day, sir." No.
Or I can't help you.
Or I can't help you. Darn tootin'.